that has a long-term effect, but the reality is that we don't see that straight away. Harry or Harriet make boots, and they need to make 20 boots in a week, and they need to sell those boots or shoes or whatever it is, or clothes. They can see the result of that, and they can see the evidence that that's happened. We as community development workers can't necessarily see that. So, you know, our persistence, our dedication to the cause, our commitment to a community may take some time for that to happen. But however, when it does happen, it's pretty amazing. You know, and you have, you know, examples like Moran that, you know, we've had a lot of those have fed back and said that the experience they've had in Nepal has been life-changing. So as a youth worker, as a community development worker, you know, I'm very happy to use my skills and my ability to do with people that potentially will change, will grow and develop, but I can't force that. It'll happen at its own time. We would, there's an old proverb that, you know, Chinese, but, you know, it's really about going to the people, living with them, loving them, building on what they have, and learning from them, but leaving them knowing or saying that they did it themselves. That's not exactly, I can never remember it, but I should. But it's really about that. You know, it's about working, our role is about working with a community to then say, well, I'll step back from working with them because they're now independent and they're capable of doing it. And then we know that we've done our job. Does that enough?
That's great. Fantastic.
You want to ask me a question?
Questions?
If I can answer a question, well, I'll make it up.
I had a question. I'll start.
Thanks,
Great.
guys.
How much does language and understanding customs and understanding the kind of unique culture of Nepalese people, how much has that kind of changed and developed the work as you've kind of over the 18 years?
There's always a challenge. I've been to Nepal now, and I thought I might go once or twice, 33 times I think now.
Wow.
And I still struggle. You know, because as I said before, how many people?
29 million.
Well done.
30 million.
Once. 29 million people. There are 120 ethnic groups. So you've got the Gurung people, you've got the Sherpa people, you've got da-da-da-da-da. So you've got all these groups that have their own culture, their own style, their own way of working. You know, I got photos this morning of a Sherpa wedding, and they're just amazing. And I was in a Sherpa parade in Kathmandu in February. All of a sudden I was given a volunteer, you know, shirt to put on as we marched down the street. And then I had to go through, when I was welcomed, I had to go through and pick up some flour and some rice, and I had to throw some on my own head, throw some on somebody else's head, drink something that was really weird. And you sort of think, oh, this is all new. So you're continually learning about the little eccentricities. But at the same time, you know, it's frustrating and it's whatever about the Nepali lifestyle is really slow. I want results now. I want to be able to see, if you're committed to something, you know, we're at the moment working with Rotary in Melbourne, we're working with our education partner in Nepal to actually build a training centre, an education training centre. This is 3 years of negotiating, and we're now coming down the track. Rotary Club in Melbourne are committing, it looks like $20,000, which then means that we can do a building. So I get frustrated by the slowness, by the change of attitude, the change of whatever with the culture of the time. Or we have 500 festivals a day, not quite, but we have a festival every other day. And we have a holiday every other day because of that. So you're going, well, hang on, haven't we done anything? Oh, we've got a holiday, or we've got a festival. So, you know, you really got to be conscious of those sort of things that happen. You know, where you might have a team of teachers go in and you sort of think, oh, this is the plan. And all of a sudden they say, but I didn't tell you that there's a holiday tomorrow. Oh, well, why didn't you tell me that before? Because they choose not to do that. So you're really frustrated by some of those things that happen seemingly willy-nilly, but but they're there somewhere. So there's that. There's also the frustration of the bureaucracy. I work with the city council here, and it's terrible. Oh, did I say it's terrible? I work with the city council here, and the bureaucracy, can I say the word? The bureaucracy, and sometimes there's a pain in the bum, because we now have systems that you know, we've got to be more conscious of, and it takes forever to do that. And if we're working with a community, I want to come with you, so you're on the outer over there, Karen.
Oh, thanks.
But I want to come with you, and we've agreed that we're going to do this. I went back into the city council and I said, listen, the community out at Mt Helen, out at the uni, want to do this and we want to give them a hand. Oh, well, hang on, we need to be able to do this and we need to change that. Sorry folks, we've got to wait another 6 months. Is that all right? You're saying, well, rack off, you know, we want to make a decision now, we want to get on with it, we want to, you know, so that's frustrating here as well as it's frustrating there. So you've got that here, but you've also then got your religious stuff in Nepal. 86% are Hindu, 9 or 10% are Buddhist. So you've got, you know, all that religious stuff that happens as well, and that's okay, but you've just got to recognise that that influences what happens on a day-to-day basis. So it's exciting, it's different, and you continually learn. You know, I reckon that I'll get in trouble one day when my wife wants a new kitchen. I've been living in a village where the lady of the community that I'd connected with had a kitchen that was, I don't know, a really grotty space about this big, that had shelves with all the stuff hanging on it, a meat cleaver and other stuff were on the floor, and then you know, she's got nothing, but she's happy to share a meal with you and do whatever. My wife says she wants $1 million new kitchen, and I went, no, you can't. I really don't feel comfortable with that. So there's all that cultural stuff that you go, well, hang on, this lady has got nothing, but is happy to share that meal with you, and you want all the bells and whistles. Guess what we've got at home? All the bells and whistles. So I've got to compromise that, and I've got to understand that, because that's the world we live in here. But I've also got to relearn that when I go back there or come back here. So, you know, it's about how do you cope with that and how you deal with that, and it's about how you sort of move on from that and not get a bit caught up with that.
You still get food poisoning after 33 times, or
Sorry?
you still get bad belly after 33 times of going?
No.
You're over that now.
My wife said to me
You hardened
yesterday, Marilyn had gone yesterday and got a jab for flu, and she said, are you going to have one? No. Have you had any jabs since you've been to Nepal over that period of time? I had some in 2000, I think, and that's it. So I'm really lucky that the old system has built up a bit of a whatever. You certainly don't drink the water off the, you know, out of a tap or whatever, because you know that's you know, it's terribly contaminated, so therefore you've got to be conscious of that. I keep saying to people, when you've done your shoelaces up, don't put your fingers in your mouth. You know, we do this, and I'll smack you on the wrist if you're actually doing it, because it's about, you know, as soon as you do that, what's on here goes in here, comes out there. So the gastro is really an issue, but for whatever reason, I've been pretty lucky.
Lucky.
So?
I've got a question.
Yeah, good.
So how often do you do like the trips, and how many people do you normally take with you? Like, is it a regular thing, or is it just...
We're traditionally taking groups in from the 28th of December through until the 24th of January, with a couple of weeks in that mix, so that's a 28-day stretch, or the first 2 weeks or the second 2 weeks of that. We have a group going in on the 30th of June through until the 14th of July. I've got a student from ACU, am I allowed to mention that in here? ACU in Melbourne, that is doing a legal studies program, international law and all that sort of stuff, so I've placed her for 3 months. So she wants to go over there and work with some organisations, so we've actually hooked her in with a children's home in Pokhara, and then we've also hooked her in with Mighty Nepal, who are rescuing young people that are being taken from their homes into the human trafficking, sex trade into India. They're rescuing 35 kids a day. So she's going to do some work with their legal department in December. So we've got possibilities of that sort of stuff. As I said before, I was working with the city. I don't do that anymore, so my focus is totally on Nepal. So therefore, I'm happy to work with groups to actually structure a program to go in. Teachers from here are going in on the 24th of November through until the 14th of December. So they'll do some work over there. So there's half a dozen teachers that will go, or student teachers. So we're structuring it a little bit differently. So mid-year normally with a group, December, January with a group. December, January is winter, but it's great. So you don't have to wear your puffy jacket. So you can take that off, because you would wear that during the night, but during the day it's like this. In December, January, winter, you'll have this sort of clear blue skies, no rain. You'll have probably mid-20s during the day, and then at night, 0. So rug up, put a hat on, go to bed, and that's okay, because during the day we're working, we're doing stuff, and that's fine. So yeah, what was your question? Yes, by the way, just happen to have a little handout. This is promoting a team, not that I'm pushing anything, but you might want to share those. But this is actually saying December, January, a couple of weeks, Nepal, maybe. The reality is that we charge a fee. That's okay, because we feed and water and transport and whatever people. But it gives you a bit of a snapshot as to what we're doing as well. So it's not necessarily pushing the barrow too hard, but it's really about saying that we as an organisation are really committed to growing and developing communities. We want to take teams of people that perhaps are general in their skills and capacities, but at the same time we'll have others overlap. So my intention is that in December, January, we'll have probably 4 teams of about 10 apiece, and that would be with an Australian leader, and then we hook into there a cook and a porter and a guide, depending on where they're going, what they're doing. They certainly have a Nepali guide and an assistant. And then if it's a construction team, we've got students from the Nepal Engineering College that are part of the team, so they add their local knowledge and their language. We spend some time doing a local language lesson at the start, so that people are a bit more familiar about some of the basics. But we always have people within the groups that speak English as well as Nepali. Was that all your question? It was about when, about numbers.
Yeah.
Thanks. So yes, but the bottom line for us still is about, or for me, is still about, whatever we do as community development workers. It's no different, where, I was working in Melbourne or in Ballarat with our local communities about a relationship thing. It's really so important, and I don't know how many times I've got to emphasise that we as community workers go into a community, we've got to ascertain what that community is on about, we've got to establish a relationship with those people that we're working with, a level of trust, and then we've got to be able to understand how we can help them do what they want to do. We can't go into a community and impose what we're doing. I had one lady years ago that said, Hindu country, Buddhist country, me Christian, struggle. I don't care. I spoke at a church group in Ballarat they'll yell at me afterwards, but I don't care. But church group in Ballarat on Thursday last week, and I said that. I said, we've got a group of people who happen to be Buddhist or happen to be Hindu. I don't care. They just need some support and help. So that's where I am. So we would be seen now, hopefully, as leaders in humanitarian aid, but through projects that we do. We've had recognition across the globe, so that's okay, as well as Australia and Nepal. So it means then that people are now understanding that what we're doing is genuine, is sincere, and is fair to come. Does that help?
Yep.
Thanks.
Thank you, Graeme.
Thank you.
That's fantastic. I'll stop.